Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Yeah, we're doing the Barbarian today.
Hello.
There's a lot to get through. I mean, I guess I could reasonably get through this pretty quickly. Just be like,
Barbarian bad, all F tier.
they're all terrible.
All terrible.
Ancestral Guardian, actually pretty good and pretty cool and pretty thematic, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone play this subclass or even talk about wanting to play it. You know, it's neat.
It's a weird one.
Oh,
Kinda
right.
cool. I similarly have not seen anyone even consider Ancestral Guardian.
You gotta read the text, the flavor text.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some barbarians hail from cultures that revere their ancestors. These tribes teach that the warriors of the past linger in the world as mighty spirits who can guide and protect the living. The barbarian who follows this path rages. The barbarian contacts the spirit world and calls upon these guardian spirits for aid. Barbarians who draw on their ancestral guardians can better fight to protect their tribes and allies. In order to cement ties to their ancestral guardians, barbarians who follow this path cover themselves in elaborate tattoos that celebrate their ancestors' deeds. Tattoos tell sagas of victories against terrible monsters and other fearsome rivals. There you go.
Kinda cool.
Yeah, they're neat. They're thematically cool. The stuff they get is pretty good. Like, maybe
The
their
stuff they get is pretty good.
14th level thing is kind of like, okay, but, you know, it's not bad.
Spirit children.
That's just because it's like a once per turn reaction. You could potentially do an amount blocked by your 4d6.
Yeah, but the level 6 it's an augmenting of the level 6 feature, and the level 6 feature is a crazy feature.
Level 6 feature is good, yeah. But this is something that you have to actively decide. I'm not using,
Opportunity attack?
like, I'm not using opportunity attacks, and I'm gonna be using one reaction to block.
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
2d6 reduction on... that's pretty good. Why haven't I seen anyone play this class? The class looks kind of hype.
Yeah, not to mention, their level 3 feature is, like, one of the only good tanking features in D&D. Which is great. It's awesome. Like, if you're fighting a boss, this guy is who you want on your team to be your tank, for sure. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's good, too. But, yeah, no one seems to like them very much. But...
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's gotta be one of the better Barbarian subclasses. So I'm thinking, like, A tier.
Yeah, I'm thinking A. Put it in A.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, then we got Battlerager Barbarian. Known as Koldrarg, literally axe idiot in Dwarvish, Battle-Ragers are dwarf followers of the gods of war and take the path of the Battle-Rager. They specialize in wearing bulky spiked armor, throwing themselves into combat, striking with their body, and giving themselves over to the fury of battle. Bro, this is the worst subclass in the game. Like, unironically, it's really bad, and you have to play a dwarf to play it.
Yes.
Like, this... If there's any F tier subclasses, this has to be one of them.
I feel like your DM, if you want to play this as not a dwarf, and your DM says no, I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, yes, sure. If your DM is like, yeah, you can play this anyway, because they should, because it's bad and it doesn't matter. So
the subclass is terrible.
It's so bad.
And it's boring.
And
you get
it's boring.
Spiky armor, and if you grapple things, you do 3 damage. doesn't scale.
You get a level 14 feature to where if you're hit by a melee attack, the person who hits you takes 3 piercing damage if you're raging.
I mean, to be fair, you're raging like at all times if you're in a fight. But
yeah, but it's like, and you're wearing the
Wee?
spike armor. It's just like, it's so bad, man. It's really bad.
Not to mention, I think medium armor. I feel like you don't want to be a medium armor variant. I can see the idea, but also the medium armor is, you have to wear a specific type of medium armor too that is like bad. It's scale, which means if you want to be medium armor, you want to go to
it's like
plate
medium armor, and you don't get your fast movement because you're wearing. Well, actually, that's not true. It's only if you're not wearing heavy armor. But still, like, I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it doesn't.
not good.
You can be medium armor. It just affects your unarmed.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know, man. It's dookie. It's really sad.
The features are lame, and they're not cool, and they're not good. So it's got to be like an F tier.
Yeah, no, this has got to be. I think as far as subclasses go, this has got to be like a poster child for the worst. Like, I actually think playing this actively makes you playing Barbarian less good. Because, like, you could just be, like, a Barbarian.
Listen, it was bad, and it had cool stuff, but it's not. It's bad and it has lame stuff.
Alright. Beast Barbarian. Here we go. Barbarians who walk the path of the beast draw their rage from a bestial spark burning within their souls. That beast bursts forth in the throes of rage, physically transforming the barbarian. Such a barbarian might be inhabited by a primal spirit or be descended from shapeshifters. You can choose the origin of your feral might or determine it by rolling on the origin of the beast table. Wow, isn't that great?
This barbarian's hype.
I might paste the origin of the beast table in here too. Might as well. But yeah, it's really cool. It's very flavorful.
Yeah, it's got an enormous amount of flavor in it. The features, I mean, there might be better features, but they have a lot of cool additions to them. They're a neat way to do it. You can like bite and gain health. When you're at half, you can
can attack a bunch of time with your claws.
The claws give you an extra attack, but are weaker. And then you get stuff where you can just like you can climb on like ceilings when you're raging, and like you can jump 1,000,000 feet. And then you can breathe underwater and stuff. It's like tons of fun.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I haven't gotten the chance to play this, but I have a character that I really want to play with the Path of the Beast. I feel like there's just so much you can do with it. It's so exciting. And the features are just, they sound like a lot of fun to play. I'd put Beast in S.
You would put Beast in S?
Yeah.
Like, I think Beast is really cool and very flavorful. But I don't think I'd put it in S, only because directly from just a raw power standpoint. Like, it's very good, and it definitely, I mean, it's better than just playing a Barbarian, right? But I mean, a lot of these things are like trade-offs, essentially. And like their 14th level feature is very, well, it's a lot better than a lot of Barbarians' 14th level features, which is nice, because the big problem with like people who play Barbarian, right, is that usually they want a multi-class because the stuff they get at high levels isn't very good or worth taking compared to other classes.
Because they're cowards?
That's not why, come on. But, yeah, I don't know. It's good. Like, it's a solid class. I definitely am not gonna be like, oh, Barb
Well, it's got a lot
bad.
It's got a lot of flexibility too, which I find a lot of fun. Because every time you raid, you don't pick bite, claws, or tail. And you don't pick climbing, jumping, and swimming. Every time you raid, you pick bite, claws, or tail.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
every short rest, you can pick climbing, jumping,
But
and
I
swimming.
think in regards to like
Cool.
how you're gonna play your character, how you're gonna set up like your story of how this is like you and like that and like how like mechanically viable it is, I think it is on the same tier as Ancestral Guardian. Like, I can see an argument for liking one over the other, especially because...
And I could see that. I think it's cooler than Ancestral Guardian.
Yeah, but I do think there's some things here, I'll even do this. I do think there's some things that like Ancestral Guardian can do from a character standpoint, like, oh, this is like my ancient ancestor spirit or something, and they can talk to me. Like, we can, it's essentially like playing more characters in the campaign. I don't know, I think like you could do a lot with it. But Beast is very, like, even from like a barbarian standpoint, right? You want to play a barbarian, you want to play someone who like hulks out and goes angry mode, and Beast definitely delivers that flavor a bit more than Ancestral Guardian does. So.
Yeah, I'll accept it in A.
Berserker. Berserker, for some barbarians, rage is a means to an end. That end being violence. The path of the Berserker is a path of untrammeled fury. Interesting word. Slick with blood. As you enter the Berserker's rage, you thrill in the chaos of battle, heedless of your own health or well-being. Yeah, Berserkers.
Untrammeled, not deprived of freedom of action or expression, not restricted or hampered.
Oh, there you go. But, yeah, I think you, put a bit more, faith, I guess, in this subclass than most people do.
I do. A lot of people shit on this class real hard, unjustifiably in my opinion.
I think it's...
I just feel like, well, I mean, the only reason people think it's bad is because the exhaustion that you get from frenzy raging. Mindless rage, not being able to be charmed or frightened,
is nice.
Is
but
really
how
good,
many
'cause
races in the
barbarians-
game can have advantage on like saves about against being charmed
Barbarians
or
are
frightened?
gonna be really bad at those saving throws. Intimidating presence is pretty decent. It allows you to like frighten things in Barbarian, which I think is a good.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But I mean, Paladins get a
retaliation-
similar feature.
Retaliation's really good.
Retaliation is solid. It scales a lot better
Really
than a
well.
lot of these features do, because it just scales
And
with whatever weapon you're
Frenzy?
using.
Listen, the big downside of Frenzy is exhaustion. At high levels, at early levels, it's whatever. At high levels, you don't tend to take like 10 fights a day.
Sure, but
You
also,
only really take
if
like
you lose
2
your
or 3 at
rage,
most.
then you take it anyway. You still take the exhaustion. So if
What do you mean
something,
if you
if
lose your rage.
you get exhaustion when your rage ends, you don't get it when you use frenzy. It's just a part of it. So if you get incapacitated or something, like if someone hold persons you or something and your rage ends, you're exhausted. Which is really bad for you.
I guess.
And it's...
I mean, that your rage only ends if you don't take damage, though.
Yeah. Or don't hit someone.
But don't hit someone. Yeah.
which is possible.
I mean, once you're 15th level, it doesn't matter, but that's 15th level. But
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just saying, I think a lot of
Not
one
to
level of
mention,
exhaustion on a barbarian doesn't mean anything.
compared to the 14th level feature of like Beast Barbarian, though, like it is good, but it does take your reaction, right? So if you're next to something and it moves away and you hit them, you can't use retaliation.
Yeah, but
And
it's
also, if
not
you have
as
Polearm Master
good.
and someone moves into your range, you can make an opportunity attack on them as well. So if you're using Polearm
Baby
Master,
mode Polar Master?
look, I'm just saying it's very common.
Berserker go Great Sword Maul.
Polearm Master
Okay?
is very common for all martial classes.
Yeah, but you're gonna go a Great Sword, because you're a big boy, okay? Big boy with a big sword.
Well, you're probably going a great axe, probably.
Or Great Axe. Same difference. But my point is, one level of exhaustion doesn't mean anything, because your rogue, your bard, your ranger, they're making all the checks anyway. So you take one level of exhaustion, you weren't gonna make any checks other than lifting things anyway, because unless if your party's built for it, at least maybe you have a lot of skills as a barbarian somehow, and that matters a lot. But you're not going berserker. You're going berserker if you can sit back and your party's got stuff to do.
Yeah, but
Then at 14th level, well, at 3rd level, you're making 2 weapon attacks. You can make 2 weapon attacks per turn, which is big. That's a huge increase. At 5th level, you're making 3. That's like an 11th level fighter. At 14th level, you're making 4 weapon. You could, in theory, be making 4 weapon attacks per turn. That's like a 17th level fighter.
Yeah, but
And
it's not really like that, because a fighter does that with the attack action. You're using your bonus action to use Frenzy.
Yes, but your attacks are better than a fighter's.
And you're using, like, your reaction to do retaliation.
Yeah, but your attacks are better
With
than a fighter.
only taking Polearm Master, you can do a reaction attack and a bonus action attack at 1 feet.
With not a great sword.
Yeah, but like, I'm just saying, the value proposition is not that good, especially because like if you play one in like Baldur's Gate, or even if you look at the 1D&D version, like they're so much better.
Nah, they're cringe in Baldur's Gate.
They're not cringe in Baldur's Gate just because you
Cringe
don't
in
like
Baldur's
Tavern Brawler.
Not cringe. Listen, we're not gonna come to an agreement. Where do you want this?
I would put it in D tier, but
I would put it in B. It's good. It's very powerful, but it isn't that exciting. I mean, it's just kind of barbarian.
This is also like sort of comparing this to like subclasses of other classes as well.
I'm just saying, people who think this is bad have never seen 15th level Grog hit something.
Yeah, but 15th level Grog hitting something as any barbarian will do a lot of damage. Because you have brutal critical.
Brutal critical. Yeah, but he hits more.
Yeah, but you could
people out here sleeping on a single barbarian attack.
No one's sleeping on a single barbarian attack.
It is my bonus action polearm that does 1d4 damage.
It's literally just as good.
It's just as good. I hit the guy and I did 6 damage instead of Grog rolling up with his giant axe and doing 38 damage with his bonus action.
I don't know, man.
Listen, live your life.
I'm going to. I'm gonna live my life. Moving on to Giant Barbarian, which definitely mechanically is the strongest barbarian. Like, from a fantasy perspective,
You
is it
have
the
to read
strongest
the
barbarian?
thing. What are you doing?
I'm gonna read the thing. Barbarians who walk the path of the giant draw strength from the same primal forces as giants. As they rage, these barbarians surge with elemental power, grow in size, taking on forms that evoke the glory of giants. Some barbarians look like oversized versions of themselves, perhaps with a hint of elemental energy flaring in their eyes and around their weapons. Others transform more dramatically, taking on the appearance of an actual giant or a form similar to an elemental wreathed in fire, frost, or lightning. Which is, you know, pretty cool. Yeah. You're big. It's long and short of it.
I have not read this one. I don't have this book.
I see. Well, you go big.
I'm reading it.
You can throw stuff.
It seems good. Seems very good. It seems kind of unreasonably good, actually.
It is very good. Yeah. So basically, the idea here is
really
not
good.
It's not good in the way that unfortunately you'd probably want it to be. Because like you're playing this, right? You get your crushing throw feature, which is really neat. At level 6, you can throw a great axe as a throwing weapon.
Wait, missed that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to have the throne property.
Snap.
Which is great. It's very good. There's a slight problem though, which is that throwing weapons just isn't amazing. Like, but to be fair, you can play this subclass and just be big and grapple people and then beat the shit out of them while you're grappling them, and this is still the strongest barbarian subclass in the game.
You can just hit people. You just do, like, your extra barbarian damage and then an additional 1d6 damage and have a reach increase.
Yeah. Yep. You rage, you become big, you're good. Like, so it's one of those things, like I've heard people say, oh, it's kind of disappointing that it's not actually, like, mechanically super viable in D&D to just, like, chuck a great axe at people over and over again. It's like, sure, maybe that's true, but also you can do it anyway, for one, because, like, who's gonna like, most tables you're at, someone isn't gonna be like, wow, why are you throwing your weapon? What are you, a loser? What are you, bad at the game for not doing an optimal damage setup? It's like, no, obviously.
You can also just, like, you don't have to have a build based around throwing your axe.
Yeah, to just do it.
To just do it. If it's like, oh no, I can't get to that guy on my turn.
Yeah, and this class will let you do it better.
I could dash, or I could throw my axe at him, and then get to him next turn and pick up my axe.
Yeah, and I mean, like, worst comes to worst, right? You could just multi-class. Well, let me check just to make sure that thrown weapon fighting does what I think it does.
Thrown weapon fighting...
Yeah, you just do +2 damage with thrown weapon.
And +2 to hit, and you can draw a weapon as part of the attack.
Yeah, so it's not bad, you know? Just take a level in fighter, 2 maybe. The level 14 feature is...
It's very good.
One of the best in the game. Yeah.
Class is just kind of really good.
Yeah. No. Yep. It's good.
Because in my experience, barbarians don't fall off as the game goes on. They just... Things don't stand next to them as much. It's harder for the barbarian to get to things. attacks.
Yeah.
So even if you just want to hit the thing, generally once you get to like 11th, 12th, 14th level and on, the things just everything flies.
Yeah. But a barbarian's damage is still solid, even if their
Yeah.
utility late it falls off, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to those sorts of things. But
The
it's not that big of
reach-
an issue when you're size huge, have a ton of reach, and can throw a great axe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is if you're running around, most barbarians have to just run around. They see a guy flies up to the top of a tower. You're like, well, guess I'm gonna spend 3 turns climbing this tower
Yeah,
or something.
I mean,
You can just throw your axe.
our
I mean,
barbarians.
maybe you don't have the axe next turn, but you hit the guy with your axe this turn.
Look, definitely the like martial caster crazies online are probably not gonna agree with me when I say this, but I think barbarian is one of the better classes in the game. And giant barbarian makes them much better. I would easily put this in S tier. This subclass is insane.
I kind of want to drop it just because it seems too good.
Yeah, it's too good, so it doesn't belong in S tier.
Yeah, it makes me like it less because it's too good.
Yeah, bro, I think it's so cool though. It is
It
too
is
good, but
cool.
yeah.
It is cool. It just kind of feels like Timmy rolled up and he was like, I do an extra d6 damage and I get big and I learn Barbarian and I get Thaumaturgy and I get Reach. And like,
Yeah.
that's what you're getting like throughout your whole Barbarian class? That's pretty good. He's like, no, that's what I get at level 3.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
You're like, level 3, Timmy, what do you mean? I don't know if we can print this.
Hold on, Juggernaut's on here? Is Juggernaut's a critical role class, right?
Oh, is it? I don't know what Juggernaut is.
I'm pretty sure it is. And as I assume we're not doing the critical role classes, because I wasn't planning on doing Blood Hunter.
Reasonable.
I'm just gonna put it at the bottom.
Alright. Sounds good.
Storm Herald then is the next one. Storm Herald is the barbarian that when I first.
No.
Oh, fine.
Read the thing.
I'll read the thing. I'm not gonna forget to read the thing.
Sure, likely, but you didn't read the thing now, did you?
Alright, well, I guess that means technically I did forget, but I would have remembered. Anyway,
Yeah,
all
'cause I
barbarians harbor a fury within. Their rage grants them superior strength, durability, speed. Barbarians who follow the path of the Storm Herald learn to transform that rage into a mantle of primal magic, which swirls around them. When in a fury, a barbarian of this path taps into the forces of nature to create powerful magical effects. Storm Heralds are typically elite champions who train alongside druids, rangers, and others sworn to protect nature. Other Storm Heralds hone their craft in lodges in regions racked by storms in the frozen reaches at the world's end or deep in the hottest deserts. That's such a cool description.
It is a really cool description.
Yeah. Anyways, as I was saying before, when I first started learning about D&D, this was one of the first characters I wanted to make. I was like, oh, Storm Herald Barbarian, oh, that's so cool. I could be like
Thematically,
sick.
I feel like they're hitting it so hard.
Yeah. The issue comes in mechanically when it's
Mechanically, it is it hits you so hard, all of the cool stuff, and then it is
it's not very
you
good.
gain 2 temp HP as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it's not technically that bad.
Not to mention though, unlike Beast Barbarian, you have to kind of pick one of these things. You can technically change it, but you also technically can't.
No, you can't change them. You pick one at 3, and that's what you have. At
Yeah.
6, you get the
You-
one for the one you
You
chose.
can
at 3.
change it when you gain a level in the class, though.
Can you?
You can, but that's not really
Oh,
something
you can. Weird.
that's.
That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
It doesn't really, especially like from a character standpoint. It's like, oh, we were. I mean, maybe if you're doing a campaign and you are a desert guy, but you've been in the tundra for the past level, it's like, oh, I'll switch to tundra. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see you changing if you move around, maybe. You're like attuned to the area that you're in, maybe.
But yeah, yeah. There's definitely gonna be situations though to where it's like, I'll wanna do 2 fire damage.
I mean, it's decent. It is pretty good because you're getting a lot of value. I did play this Barbarian as a Tundra, but only in a few shot.
Yeah.
For like, it was like a 3-session thing. And if you're getting a lot out of your aura, it's really good. Like, Tundra is just like too...
Look, Tundra would be sick if your whole party was in 10 feet of you.
You do it every turn. It's kind of like a baby heroism.
Yeah.
And then it's good because then if you're taking half damage, it's kind of like you're doubling value. And you can, if you're getting a lot of value out of it, you net a big value over a fight. But it does kind of feel like counting pennies.
And not to mention, you have to now, like... like, if this was just a feature, it'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Like, it's not that bad. But it's something that you have to say, like, is this as good as Beast Barbarian? Or Giant Barbarian?
You know, it does also basically require your bonus action be used every turn.
Yeah.
Which isn't the worst thing when you have a really good bonus action, but it's kind of like a okay bonus action.
You kind of want to have a bonus action, though.
It's good. The only reason it's decent because you can do it every turn with no resource. Every turn, it's pretty decent because it's consistent. But it requiring your bonus action to be consistent means if you get something that's an alright bonus action, or you want to do something that's a bonus action, your DM's like, oh, you can press that button as a bonus action, or you can lift your friend off the ground as a bonus action, or you can drink a potion as a bonus action, then you're like, well, I want to do... Then you start to go, well, I mean, but I want to do my thing, otherwise my class doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And also there's this thing, like, that isn't a lot of subclasses in D&D that I think is kind of annoying. Where, like, at level 6, if you pick C, you can breathe underwater and you gain a swimming speed of 30 feet. But it's either never gonna be important, or it was made known that it's going to be important, and you are probably playing a race that can breathe underwater, or you have a spell or a magic item or something that can do it. And it's just...
I mean, I do have to say, it doesn't come up a lot to be able to swim and having a swim speed and breathing underwater. But it is very powerful when it does come up. Because if your DM throws you a bone and you have a big combat or two in water, or like where water, it's like all around water or something, and you have to swim, swimming sucks.
It does
if you don't
suck.
have swim speed. And it feels really powerful to have a swim speed if your DM throws you a bone. He's like, here's a really difficult thing you have to kind of get around. Eventually that's kind of circumvented, because by the time you hit level 10 or 11... You get it at 6. By the time you hit 10 or 11 to 14, your whole party starts to be able to fly. as an option generally.
Yeah. And fly speeds are still valuable, like they're very good, which is why like Aarakocras and stuff are so strong. But
Yeah, and
it's
then it starts to matter a lot less. Because you can't really... You can set up a fight where there's like a bunch of water around it. You can't really set up a fight where it's like a dive to the bottom of this pool
yeah.
that's like 100 feet deep.
Yeah,
And then your
because if
party's
you're
like,
having
what do
like
you
a
mean?
ship
What do I do?
battle and your ship sinks and you just fly, you don't have to swim.
Yeah, you can't... Yeah. I mean, you can throw up a bone, but yeah.
It's
I don't know. I think this subclass has a lot of flavor. It's really neat, but it's sort of mechanically it doesn't quite get there.
I'm gonna put it in C tier. Like
I
I
think
like
that's
it.
reasonable.
Uh Totem Warrior.
Totem.
Bear Totem Barbarian. Kalishtar Bear Totem Barbarian.
Read read the thing.
I did. I read the thing. That was just the
That's
whole
not what.
flavor
That's
text.
not the flavor.
The
text.
path of the Totem Warrior is a spiritual journey as the barbarian accepts a spirit animal as guide, protector, and inspiration. In battle, your totem spirit fills you with supernatural might, adding magical fuel to your barbarian rage. Most barbarian tribes consider a totem animal to be kin to a particular clan. In such cases, it is unusual for an individual to have more than one totem animal spirit, though exceptions exist. I mean, you get speak with animals in beast sense. That's useful if you don't have a druid. Not beast barbarian. Totem warrior barbarian.
The cool part about totem is there's a bunch of animals. They do different things. You can really like tailor yourself to it. You can technically pick ones of different spirits as you level up, which can be really cool thematically. You could connect yourself to it, but it's just made so unequally.
Yeah.
It's not... It's cool to be able to pick through these different options, really customize yourself, lean into a fantasy. But when it's like... When Bear is so much obviously better than all of the other ones by such a huge margin. It's like, well, I could be bad, or I could pick Bear. And then it kind of destroys the whole fantasy, in my opinion.
I don't think bear is the only good one, but
Elk is okay. The rest of them are bad.
yeah, kinda. I mean, wolf is okay.
Wolf is okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. It's something. It's not great.
And the features at 6 are really boring.
Yeah.
You got like your travel pace is doubled of up to 10 companions. You can track creatures while traveling at a fast pace. You you can see a mile away. Um, you you get more carrying capacity. They're just so boring.
Yeah. Like,
And then the level 14 ones are cool. But then Bear is kind of the best one again. Eagle's like kind of neat, where you get a fly speed, but you can't fly. You could just sort of run on air, and then you fall at the end of your turn, which is cool.
Yeah.
Tiger's just kind of really bad. Berserker's level 3 feature. So I don't know. It just really feels like this is a really neat idea. But there's really only one feature worth picking in the entire class.
Yeah. Yeah. um, so it's good. Like even like flavor wise, I think it's pretty good. It's just
I think they do it I think this class is pretty cool in Baldur's Gate. They give you some like actually cool features at 6
oh yeah,
that are
it is cool in
exciting.
Baldur's Gate because it makes the other ones worth taking.
Yeah, because Bear, all the features are still the same, but you get an action you can do every turn when you're raging,
Yeah.
and they balance it by making bears the worst.
Yeah.
And the other ones are pretty good. So Bear can have the best passive, but the worst action they can take.
I still do think the flavor on
Cool.
this class is great. Like if it was like balanced a bit better, which in 1D&D it seems to be.
Maybe it'd be cool, but
It would be it's neat. It's a really neat class cuz like I like the idea of like having this big totem that has your spirit animal on it and whatever and you like commune with nature and stuff. It's like kind of like playing a druid, I guess, but you're a barbarian, which I think is a middle ground that's pretty common actually. That barbarians kind of like the ranger druid martial, I guess.
yeah, I mean they're very tribal. Tribal barbarian makes sense. Tribal druid,
And they're good,
good
but
connection.
yeah, I wish they were balanced a bit better. Put them in B tier.
I'd put them in C tier.
I can't put them in C tier only because like if you play a bear barbarian, you can't go wrong.
Yeah,
It's just
but
kind of lame.
if you play anything else other than going,
Yeah. Well, if it was only like Kalishtar
You-
Bear Barbarian, it would probably be an S tier, but it's not.
yeah, but if it was only Tiger Barbarian, it would be in D
It would,
tier or
it would
E
it, it would probably be in like a D or F, yeah. I don't know. Alright, Wild Magic Barbarian. Many places in the multiverse abound with beauty, intense emotion, and rampant magic. The Feywild, the upper planes, and the other realms of supernatural power radiate with such forces that can profoundly influence people. As folk of deep feeling, barbarians are especially susceptible to these wild influences, with some barbarians being transformed by the magic. These magic-suffused barbarians walk the path of wild magic. Elves, tieflings, Aasimars, and Ganassi barbarians often seek this path, eager to manifest otherworldly magic of their ancestors. I love the flavor of this class.
It's funny.
But I guess like just anything Feywild themed, I like a pretty good amount.
It's not particularly Feywild.
It isn't, but it is. Like, you play this
I mean, it
character,
can
you want to be like a
depends on
fairy
the
barbarian.
That sounds funny.
It-
It is the funny class.
Yeah, you're a flying class, you have unarmored defense, so you don't have to worry about that. You know, it's I don't know.
It is funny.
It is. It's funny.
And its features are pretty good. I mean, the rage is kind of just like all the features in the rage are just kind of good.
Yeah.
They're like better than a feature that it should be, but it happens randomly. You don't
Yeah.
get to pick, and some of them are more situational. So some of them are less situational. Which is good. But I don't know. It's kind of a cool. It's kind of a neat idea. It's what I kind of wish like. Well, I don't know. It's a good way to do wild magic, where it's just stronger than average. You just can't rely on it, which fits that fantasy of wild magic very good.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest problem for me with Wild Magic Sorcerer is not that there's 100 options and 98 of them are bad for you. It's the fact that you have to roll a d10 and roll a 1 on it every time you cast a spell to even have it go off.
I have other problem. I will get to Sorcerer when we get to okay, I've got a whole speech about Wild Magic Sorcerer.
Yeah, fair enough. I really like this class. It's not actually very good, unfortunately. It sorta like goes against the grain of not sorcerers, of barbarians and like what they're trying to be doing. But they're cool. Also, you roll d3s as this character.
Roll d3s because they were like, it would be funny if they rolled a d3.
I don't even think you can buy a d3 most places. They don't come with dice sets.
I've seen them, they exist. They're really stupid looking. They're basically like a d4, but one of the sides is rounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. You can also just roll a d4 and throw out the 4 if you roll it, or 1. But 4 is just a reroll. But yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. It's not like amazing.
No,
it's not like Bear Totem or Beast or Ancestral. But it's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And it's flavorful and fun.
It's neat.
I'd probably put it in like B tier.
Yeah. I agree. Unfortunately, the biggest issue I think that this class has is a lot of their features, especially like later on, are like, you can use your Wild Surge table more efficiently. But like, you're just gonna pick the ones that, well, the one that is like the best one, because they don't all scale, right? So it's like, I mean, they don't scale at all, actually. So the later on you get, the worse it becomes, but also it's like, doing difficult terrain at least does something, and like blinding someone at least does something.
I mean, gaining 1 AC in a 10-foot radius is pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you'll probably just pick that. And it doesn't ever become 2 AC, right? At like level 20. It's just...
Yeah, but AC is good.
It is good. It's very, very good at level 3.
AC doesn't need to scale.
But no, AC doesn't need to scale, even though
some of the other effects probably
kinda does scale with magic shields and magic armor, but
yeah,
you can limit that to an extent. But I don't know. It's one of those things, I love it, and I wish it was better.
It's fun. If you play Pixie, Wild Magic, Barbarian in Strixhaven, then you're a Giga Chad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why particularly Strixhaven?
Because you're going to a magic school to learn to be a wizard, and you as a wild magic barbarian? That's a Chad move.
I guess it's kind of funny.
Move. They're like, you rippling biceps. You're like, teach me magic, puny man. And then you're like 1 inch tall as a fairy too, like on top of that.
Yeah. Zealot Barbarian. I think was mechanically the strongest barbarian before Giant came out. It's very good.
Wait, we're moving on to Zealot?
Zealot's the last one.
But you didn't read the thing.
Some deities inspire their followers to pitch themselves into a ferocious battle fury. These barbarians are zealots, warriors who channel their rage into powerful displays of divine power. A variety of gods across the worlds of D&D inspire their followers to embrace this path. Tempest from the Forgotten Realms and Hextor and Orithnal of Greyhawk are prime examples. In general, the gods who inspire zealots are deities of combat, destruction, and violence. Not all are evil, but few are good. There you go.
It's good.
It's the angry paladin subclass.
Speaking of few being good, it's pretty good.
It's very.
I don't think the flavor. You can make an interesting Zealot Barbarian, but you can make like a interesting Zealot Barbarian.
I do really like the flavor of this class, but I agree there's like 2 characters you can make. I think they're cool characters, but yeah.
There's just a lot of very specific types of lore here. You need to be a very specific brand of character to be this, which I think kind of diminishes the interesting character that you could make because it's like the only interesting character you could make.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot to do with it.
For me,
there's just so much lore infused in it.
I think the fantasy of like angry crusader essentially is very good for me. Like I really like that fantasy, so I really like Zealot Barbarian. But if you're not an angry crusader, there's not really anything else for you here.
Yeah. I mean, you could just be a guy who worships like a death cleric, or worships like a death god, and just wants to kill people, but then you're just like a murder hoe. That's not like very exciting, and maybe there's a middle ground. You can play that in an interesting way at a specific situation, but
yeah,
by and large, I feel like it's just not. I don't know. The flavor, I don't think is really there.
Mechanically, they're very good. You get rezzed for free. That's sick. Just fight until you die, brother.
You also just do a bunch of damage.
Yeah, you do a bunch more extra damage for free.
The raised dead thing.
It costs
like
nothing.
Whatever.
The raised dead thing is actually like, yeah, it's whatever. If it was the only thing there, it wouldn't be great. But because you get that and Divine Fury, it's actually, it adds a lot.
You could not have the raised dead thing at all in the Divine.
It would still be good, but I think the reason that the subclass is so good is that
you just do what we just talked about, how crazy Giant Barbarian. And there are 6 level features they do.
Yeah.
The 3rd level features, you do 1d6 plus your Barbarian level extra damage on every weapon attack.
Yeah. And you get the fighter feature that kind of blows at 6th level.
The other one's for rage.
Indomitable.
Which is kind of better than Indomitable.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean,
but
once you level 10 Indomitable 2 stars and you use it in the same combat,
it's there.
But for that, I mean, you get it every time, so you could be doing this like 3 times per day in theory.
Yeah.
It's probably just better.
But 10th level, very sick. You only get it once per long rest, but it's a pretty good bonus action, I think. 10 creatures of your choice within 60 feet gain advantage on attack rolls and saving throws for a turn. Pretty good.
Yeah.
The level 14th feature is very, very nice. You fight when you die. Yep.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan.
You just keep going. You don't die.
Orcs do
Yeah. The level 14 subclass feature does it a bit better than orcs do, but
Yeah, but
you know,
orcs.
yeah. Although I'm pretty sure, unlike most things in this game, you can be an orc zealot barbarian and it stacks.
Yeah.
So
Because I think it's just when you hit 0, you can choose not to.
yeah, you can just
You could just do the orc one, and then if you hit 0 again, you could just
do it
Yeah.
again. It's
So,
very
I mean,
good.
that'd be kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. This probably deserves to be in B, in my opinion. Because it's very good, but I don't know what you can do with it.
It is very good, but there's
I
also
mean,
like not a wrong way to play it, right? With like Totem Warrior or like I don't know.
there's not a wrong way to play it, but I think Totem has a whole bunch of cool. Like, aesthetically, it's cool, and thematically, it's cool. It just kind of has a bunch of balance issues, but
Yeah.
thematically, it's really cool, and there's a lot you can. There's so much you could do with Totem.
Hold on one second.
But
Okay.
are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it. I just don't think it's very exciting. It's just kind of good.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm gonna put it in A tier just because it's good. And I think it's cool. Like I'd like to play a zealot barbarian as a zealot barbarian. It'd be
I
fun.
guess. I don't think running a campaign with a Zealot Barbarian would be fun.
But you don't like people just yelling at you about like having the wrong religion and then chopping your head off.
It just seems like a lot to deal with. And then you're just like, you run in and die. Your ID, you get a 3rd level feature where it's like, I want to run in and kill myself.
Yeah.
Then
It's pretty effective.
I feel like it becomes very prone to like, why strategize when I can just die and it doesn't matter? But then at some point, like, what if it does matter? They can't get the body back, or they get way in over their head. They can't get it. Then it's like well, but I just wanted to play my character right, and then you're like, but playing your character right doesn't involve you just running into an army of people and killing yourself.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. It just sounds potentially irritating. It might be fun. I don't know.
I can see where it would be irritating as a DM for sure. It's just like I'm just gonna fight people and like the consequences be damned. You know, someone can just res me.
I mean, it could also be irritating as a cleric. If you're playing a cleric and then you're just expected to res this guy.
I don't think it's that bad, especially because usually you have a session 0 where it's like, I have a cleric. Hey cleric, are you cool if I play Zealot Barbarian? They're like, oh yeah, sure. Sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, conversely, I guess if your cleric likes that idea, it could be fun for them to be like a thing that they can do.
Yeah.
It could be a cool synergy, I guess.
You guys worship the same god?
Yeah. Or with someone with similar goals or something.
Yeah, it'd be neat, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Fine, you've convinced me.
Yeah, anyway. Alright, that was it. Barbarians are actually, like, as a class, not super complicated. So, we didn't spend as much time on them as we did for each, Artificer subclass.
Artificers are kind of, they got the least subclass, but they're kind of like giga complicated.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff going on. And you know what? I'm cool with that. Cleric's gonna take forever, though. But whatever. That's something for me to worry about on another day.
Lyric.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Bye.
Peace.